What about the people that never hear about Jesus? Do they go to hell? Have you ever heard this question before? Maybe you've asked it yourself. For some, frankly, this is a smokescreen, taking the focus off of their own spiritual condition and focusing it elsewhere. While for others, it's a sincere question. Regardless, we should be able to provide an answer. The real question deals with the perceived unfairness of God. It might go something like this. How can a just God punish innocent people for not believing in His Son Jesus Christ if they've never heard of Him? So let's deal with that. First, the question itself is a straw man. It's designed to trap God into a corner. You see, no one will be in hell because they've never heard about Jesus. They'll be in hell because of their sin. The Bible tells us in Romans 3 that no one is innocent because we have all sinned. It also says in Romans that God has made plain to us all His divine nature through creation and through the law that He's written upon our heart. You see, it's not that we don't know the truth. We do know the truth. It's just that we suppress it. Plainly speaking, the Bible says that everyone knows about God and therefore has no excuse. Secondly, the Bible has given us three great examples of how God lovingly reaches the unbeliever and arranges what I like to call divine appointments. He used dreams to reach Cornelius, the centurion. He caused an earthquake to reach the Philippian jailer. And He used the book of Isaiah to reach the Ethiopian eunuch. And, by the way, He also sent people to share the good news of Jesus to these people. Remember that if God ordains an end, meaning our salvation, then He always ordains the means by which that end comes to be. Thirdly, let's take the original question and change one word. What about the people who never hear about Jesus? Do they go to heaven? Suppose there was a missionary who went to the remotest part of Africa, to a tribe that had never even seen a Westerner, let alone heard about God. This missionary then shares the gospel with the tribe. After hearing the gospel, the chief stands up and quite wisely asks, "What about the other tribes like us who've never heard about Jesus? Do they go to heaven?" The missionary answers, "Well, yes, of course they go to heaven." The chief then asks, "Why then did you tell us about Jesus?" You see, the idea that people go to heaven based upon their ignorance without hearing the good news undermines the very practice of evangelism, something Jesus Himself modeled and commanded to us as Christians. Finally, remember our goal is always to share the gospel. We know that God can save anyone in any way that He chooses, but He often uses His people, you and me, to share the good news. So when asked the question, what about those who've never heard? Give them a reasonable answer and then tell the person, it's wonderful that you care about those who've never heard, but right now you have the opportunity to hear the good news, and then share with them the gospel. I'm John Sorensen, and this has been Reasonable Answers for Honest Skeptics. If you like Reasonable Answers, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.